Wait for somebody to come on.
What? Call.
Huh?
Your life on the call.
It's about my book. I said that I published a new book.
You want this tea again? What time?
Yeah, I guess you can have that. Don't make it too hot, though.
Okay.
I haven't done a live for a while. So, hopefully,
What's wrong?
I'm getting all this stuff correct. I know what I'm doing here.
You get some tea. But,
Doing quick pose. There we go. Now I'm back on.
what happened?
Get disconnected.
Making your tea right now, Mom.
What is this here?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to teach Jasper how to sit.
Oh, that's fun. Well, how am I supposed to? Oh, there we go.
Tea almost done, Mom.
Put that there. Oh, why is it blocking my face? That's okay. Anyways, hi. To the two people that are on. I have recently self-published a book. We have 11 people now. Don't let the water run like that.
I'm washing my cup out
Okay.
and making tea myself.
See, they have this Q&A thing, and then, like, you know.
Your mom can make your tea for you. Talking about your book?
Yeah, then it's, like, all blocking. Where is my check? There we go.
You're talking about Jackalope Fangs?
It's called Jackalope Fangs.
I'm the artist of the book.
Well, yeah, I wrote the book, and Nate, he did the cover.
Yep.
It used to be that I could put a background on the live, but I'm not seeing where I can do that right now. So, yeah. Anybody want to know about the book? I usually do, like, well, I always do, not usually, self-publishing. So it's like on Amazon and the Barnes& and Noble site. It's on Ko-fi. The newest one's not on Lulu yet, but it's on, like, multiple platforms.
I can make more book covers for your mom if you need any.
Eventually.
How many books are you working on so far?
I have a lot of projects going on.
Are you making book covers for you?
See, I don't get why they put this, like, right here.
Yeah, I don't use them.
So, I guess I will tell you guys about the book. So, the book that I just published is called Jackalope Fangs. And Jackalope Fangs is the first book in a series that I am creating called Tales of Shadow Oaks. And it's going to have reoccurring characters. There's going to be some books where some characters, they might be, um, just their own story and stuff, but it's all about this town, Shadow Oaks. The first book basically tells you what happened in Shadow Oaks, but eventually I'll have to, kind of go over that again in some books down the line. Because I want it to be like Goosebumps in a way, where they're just like fun little stories, but more geared towards adults. But, I don't know, I like the characters that I created, and I want to see them again. But I also want, new characters and stuff. So anyways, that's the future plans for the series. Jackalope Fangs, the first book, is about a woman named Guinevere, or Gwen. And Gwen, hello, Gwen has just moved back in with her parents after a breakup. So she's kind of devastated, you know. She's heartbroken and stuff, but she's trying to move on. She found a job, that she likes. So far, things have been going normal. But recently, her mother, who likes mythology and folklore, legends, that kind of stuff, her mother is a writer, she's been more obsessed with one of her favorite cryptids lately, the jackalope. Now, she's never written about jackalopes, even though she likes them, because she's always found jackalopes to be kind of whimsical. They're a rabbit with antlers. So, as somebody who writes more adult books, like horror and that kind of stuff, she's just, never found time to write about them. But lately, she has been having dreams about jackalopes. Jackalopes with fangs. And she doesn't know why. Eventually, Gwen herself is seeing jackalopes everywhere. Like, she's dreaming about jackalope, she's seeing the jackalope outside at work, and, she thinks she's just kind of going crazy, right? I mean, a lot has happened in her life. And her mother's always talking about jackalopes, so she thinks it's just in her head. Well, the family decides to take a camping trip because they think that Guinevere and her mom, and everybody else really, they just need a break, right? A break from school, work, whatever. So they're going to go on a family camping trip for a couple of days. It's becoming spring, it's becoming nice out. They're going to go and clear their heads. Barbecue, right? Well, they get there, and one night, Guinevere's mom is trying to get out of the tent and go chase this jackalope. Now, of course, Gwen stops there thinking she's just sleepwalking. Well, the next day, when she wakes up, her mother is gone. And they go looking for her. And they find a rabbit with antlers in the forest. And it leads them to somewhere unexpected. A place they did not know exists. And that's basically all I can tell you about the book, because I want you to go read it and buy it. So, what does everybody think so far?
Good.
In my community tab, I have it linked for Ko-fi. If you go down a little bit, you might have to scroll a little bit now. On Ko-fi, I had it for about, I think 75 cents for a digital download. On other platforms, it's like 99 cents. Seems interesting, but I don't know your writing style. That's fair enough. I do actually have a playlist called My Writing. A lot of it's poetry, but I do have a story or two in there where I read them and then you can see. So I have like a couple of short stories. So I also have a couple books that are short story collections. So one is called Another World Called Ours, and it's, I guess, more fantasy-ish kind of things. There's, I wouldn't say horror, but maybe supernatural stuff in there, but it's mainly like a dragon story and one with leprechauns and wizards. There's one with a spell that brings cupcakes to life. That one's a little bit more YA, I would say. I would say that probably for the second book too, but that one's more on the spooky-ish side, and that one's called I Don't Know These Shadows. But yeah, I have a playlist called My Writing that's poetry and a few short stories in there. What are big inspirations for you? Ooh. You know what? That's a good question. Yeah, Goosebumps definitely. Goosebumps really got me into reading. Like, I loved reading before that, but that just really made it take off for both reading and writing for me. I mean, I was like making little stories when I was like in kindergarten and stuff, but it just really, you know, really got it going. And then, of course, I moved on to other things, but Goosebumps, yeah, I really owe a lot to. And inspiration. But I also like other books too. I like books that really make you think, and books that are, you know, have good humor in them. One of my favorite books is an anthology. It's called Zombies versus Unicorns. And I really love the different twists the different authors put on zombies or unicorns, right? Because it was like a challenge, I guess, which one was the better creature or whatever, a zombie or a unicorn. So you had Team Zombie, Team Unicorn, and you know there was like one story was about how unicorns are like carnivorous. Is that what the word is? Creatures, like they eat meat and stuff, and they're not seen as like these magical, majestical things or whatever. They're like looked at as dangerous, like beasts and stuff. So that one was interesting. Um, yeah, and I just love books like Love the Giver. I like the writing style of The Lovely Bones. Didn't like everything about it, but I did like that opening. One of my favorites. So yeah, Lovely Bones, The Giver. One of my favorite books series of all time is The Hunger Games. So I really like stuff that makes you think. I really like realistic characters. Seem to gravitate towards dark fantasy. Yeah, I'm slowly getting into more fantasy. Like I basically have read some YA fantasy, and now I'm trying to move to, you know, some of the older stuff. So, like Lord of the Rings is on my TBR. I read the first book in Chronicles of Narnia, which is The Magician's Nephew. I think that's supposed to be the order it goes into. So, yeah, I'm definitely trying to get more into fantasy. I did enjoy the Caraval series. I haven't read the spin-off series yet. I might want to reread Caraval again just because it's been kind of you know, a while and in between since I've read the books. What about Game of Thrones? I have not read that. And I've only seen bits of it. I wanted to read it, but I don't know. I know the guy, the author, he hasn't finished it yet. Anyways, so yeah, I enjoyed Cannonball. Cannonball was really fun. Um, Three Dark Crowns, I really like that one. I probably will reread that one again. That one just doesn't get enough attention and love, I think. It was a really interesting story. Lunar Chronicles, I really like those too. Hmm. Might still have to give them a try. I heard Lunar Chronicles, though, is supposed to be getting a movie in like 2028. Now, the thing is, though, is there are like 4 books, a prequel, like a villain origin story, and then a couple graphic novels, and a short story collection. And I didn't hear that they're making Cinder. I heard the Lunar Chronicles. So I hope they're not going to make this movie where they just mash all of these 4 books that are like, I think, at least over 300 pages into, one thing. Huh. My next project, besides doing another Tales of Shadow Oak um, book, and I have a few ideas for those. My next project is going to be a YA fantasy that has zodiac sign stuff with it, but that's not the only thing about it. Because I came up with this idea a while ago, and I don't claim, to be the inventor of zodiac stories because so many things in literature have been done already. I only speak English, so no. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't claim to, you know, be original in everything. I'm original in my own way. But, I just been kind of thinking about stuff because it's like so many Zodiac stories are coming up now. But it's like that's not the only thing that's going on with the story. It's like it's brewing in my head, right? And I'm doing research on different cultures and mythologies and stuff because it will take place in a future United States. So I'm not going like hardcore, I guess, high fantasy. I want to have dragons in there, right? There's gonna be dragons in cities and stuff. Gonna be dragons and elemental magic and stuff like that. Cool. Mine is on the 30th of November, so I am a Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is not the main character. My main characters are Geminis. And I think I found a book or two where Geminis are like the main characters. But the reason I chose Gemini is because one day, maybe Scorpio? It might be Scorpio. I'll have to look. I know I had like a list of the different ones, so I remember, but it might be that. I think it might be that. Um, so yeah. But yeah, I had posted on Facebook one day that I feel like writing a story about zodiac signs, right? Which one should I do? Because I didn't want to be like a self-insert and just put like a Sagittarius because I'm a Sagittarius. And one of my friends who's a Gemini said, Gemini. And that's how that started. So the story started forming. Now, I wanted to put a twist on it because a lot of them are twins because that's a sign of the Gemini. So I decided that my characters were going to be a little special, and instead of being born as twins, they are born four, which I think is quadruplets, right? Like, I've tried to look up that word and it doesn't give it to me. I'm pretty sure it's quadruplets. But yeah, the research has been interesting. Um, because of the research and the journey of my own spiritual path. I am really looking into researching things on Germanic, Norse, and Slavic paganism, along with Celtic, especially Irish. Yeah, so they definitely will have powers that correspond to their signs, right? Like the Sagittarius will have um, fire powers and stuff like that. And there are certain like ruling families and stuff. I'm kind of like putting together like family trees and stuff, basically. I don't want to make it too complicated. I'm really just like I have the basic idea in my head, and then I'm like forming it. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself because, like I said, there's a lot of research I'm still doing. Um, what else? Yeah, that's basically it for the fantasy book. So far, I keep going back and forth on certain names and stuff, but Ayala is one, June, and then there's Iris. And then the last one I keep changing my mind about because I don't know. I want them to be unique, but there's so many of them I like, and I can use these names for different characters, but it's just which name do I want for the final sister, right? Because I'm trying to stick with Sky and air related names because they are four Gemini sisters. So Ayala is whirlwind, it's a Greek name. Then there's Iris, which is rainbow in the sky. June, well, that's not really sky-ish, but they're born in June. June is basically another name for, you know, Juno or Hera, depending on if you're going with Greek or Roman, which is, you know, gods live in the sky, basically. So, for the last sister, I am thinking between Aura, Nephili, Paloma, and Soika, which is bird, or jay. I thought about Sky, but I don't know, that just seemed a little too basic. Aura. Yeah, I liked Aura too. I mean, I like all of them. But I remember people are like, well, if you give the characters names with the same letter, people are going to get confused. And I don't think that's true. Aura is like a breeze. Yeah, that's what it is. I can see like if I named all the sisters A names, which I was originally going to do, but I don't know. I think people can tell the difference between Aura and Ayala. I mean, I can. Like if you're doing it constantly, where like all the characters in like a certain group have like the same letter or whatever, maybe. But you know, you're gonna repeat letters at some point. There's a lot of A names. I also have this idea, and it's kind of half formed, of I guess you would say, contemporary slice of life kind of story. That it's probably going to be more middle grade. It's either going to be middle grade or like a younger YA, but I'm feeling more middle grade for this story. So I wanted to have a sort of, I don't know if you would call it like a vignette style, but maybe like a short book, kind of like the House on Mango Street kind of thing, or you know, it's one of those smaller like, um, you know, what am I just saying? Middle grade books. That's what I was just thinking. I just said it. I must be getting tired. Where there's like maybe a character for each chapter kind of thing. And I wanted it to focus on this family and this day where they have tea for this reason. Because I was sitting out on a porch one time, like a year or so ago, just enjoying the rain, drinking some tea, and I'm like, this would be like beautiful in a story, right? And I wanted it to be where like maybe the daughters in the story had like a theme for their names, right? I was thinking flowers, but a lot of times flowers are like flowering plants that people are named after and not specifically a flower. So I'm like, is it going to get complicated if I'm trying to name like a couple generations of people after flowers? So I was going for either flowers or nature or witchy names, one of those two, or three, I should say. Huh, those are interesting names. Yep, talking about my book and my future books. Skyla's an interesting name. So is the other one. Let's see, what time is it? Ooh, it is 2:05. Well, it's time for me to go to bed, but I'm gonna finish my tea first. So yeah, eventually I'll get these projects done. I've had so many half-written things I need to go back, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't finish them because I probably would have gotten to this point and thought about the things that I now wanted to put into those stories and how I wanted to change them. So sometimes it's good to wait, even if it is a few years, because just because you have a story doesn't mean it's ready yet. You know, it can be just your story for a while. And then when it's time, you share it with the world. At least that's how I'm viewing it. Oh, I missed this one here. Have you read The Creature from Jekyll Island? No, I have not. Yeah, like the Jackalope story took over a year, but I also have a regular job too, so, um, you know, if I wasn't working, maybe it would have been shorter, but uh, I know the fantasy story is going to take a while because of the research and the world building and everything. So I will be working on little projects in between that. Maybe I'll work on the second uh, Tales of Shadow Oak story and the middle grade tea time story. But yeah, if you guys are interested in my work, like I said, it is on my channel in my writing playlist. Um, when I get a copy of this book, I'll probably read a chapter or two, maybe on a live, maybe on a regular video, I don't know yet. But I'm really happy that I got it done. Finally, I didn't want to rush it. And my son made the cover. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. And I'm just really happy with the results. Now, understand, I am an indie author. I combed through this and everything, but it's all me doing this stuff for the most part. So, if you guys find a mistake, I'm sorry. Like, if I miss a period or a quotation mark, understand that it's everything being done by me. I'm pretty sure I went through it really well. Uh, one day, I might see my book in stores. I've sent out smaller, like, children's stories to um, different publishers. No, no success yet, obviously. Yeah, he really enjoyed making the cover. He loves to draw, and he's practicing and stuff. I said that you love to draw, and you were really happy making the cover.
Yeah. They want me to make you a cover, they asked me.
I will. Maybe I'll have you help me do the next one for the one in my horror series that I'm making.
What it's called?
I'm not sure yet. I have a few ideas, but I'm not sure which one I want to make book 2 just yet.
Okay. Well, I'll make cover for it for you.
Okay. Ooh, it is getting late. We probably should start trying to go to bed. So, anyways, thanks everybody who showed up and had an actual conversation. Like I said, check out my work, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay.